a pinched nerve in your back. So, well, most of us have had this experience of back pain, but if you've ever slept in a wrong posture and you've woken up with some tingling, numbness, or pain down your leg, or a burning sensation or discomfort down your leg, it is possible that you might have had a nerve pain. So, this could be an a nerve pain can be something that originates from your back but goes down into your leg. Let's get into the details of this for the topic for today, which is how should you sleep when you have nerve pain in your back. So basically, nerve pain originating in your back. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs manage the aches and pains that come with the motherhood journey. So what that means is aches and pains from ranging from your neck pain to back pain to heel pain to a poor posture or a weak pelvic floor leading to incontinence, etc. Now, this could have started during your pregnancy, your childbirth, or the early toddler years, or thereafter. So, when this happens, usually moms are busy people, right? So either these issues get swept under the carpet, or it might have happened that you've researched everything, you've tried everything under the sun, as nothing's really worked for you. So this is where I come in with simple tips and strategies for you, and just simple exercises that you can implement into your everyday activities or your everyday routine. So, jumping back into the topic for today, how should you sleep if you have back and nerve pain or nerve pain that originates in your back? Now, the very first thing is if you suffer from back pain and it has started to go down into your pelvis, your hip, or your leg, right up to you, it could be right up to your toes as well. It is possible that there is a nerve that's being irritated or compressed in your back, and that is creating that pain that is causing the pain going down into your legs. Now, of course, you will go to your doctor, get your medication, physiotherapy, etc., etc. But what can you do at home? uh, Basically, you need to keep your back in a proper position, in a good position, so that the pain does not aggravate, because the cause is in the back, not really in the leg, right? So, let me share with you a couple of tips. So, I'm going to talk about three tips for you today. And yeah, so starting off, let's see so we're going to look at sleeping posture. So, what sort of position or posture should you not have when you're sleeping? So, if you are one of those who sleep on your stomach or your tummy, and that is a position where you have more chances of hurting your back and aggravating that nerve pain. The reason being, when you're sleeping on your abdomen or your tummy, the curve in your lower back, which is a natural C-shaped curve in our lower back, gets exaggerated or gets deepened, if you would say. So basically, when you're lying down, there is more exaggeration of that curve. There is a lot of stresses on your back that builds up. And we're talking about 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep in the night. So if that happens, then obviously you will most probably wake up with a back pain, if not today, maybe weeks or months down the line. So anyway, sleeping on your tummy is not a good idea, as if you watched my previous video, which I did 2 days ago, it is very difficult for you to find a neutral position for your neck when you're sleeping on your stomach. So basically, when you're sleeping on your tummy, you turn your neck to either side, and then imagine the sort of stresses that are present in your neck throughout the night and when you wake up. Anyway, I'm not getting into the details of that. If you want to know what is the position to avoid while you're sleeping, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can type sleeping posture or avoid posture during sleep, or you can just go to YouTube, type my name, Swati Prakash, sleeping posture, and the video will pop up for you. If you like what you're watching, you can always like and subscribe. All right, so the second tip for you is, the first one was do not sleep on your stomach. The second tip was also in my YouTube video, I address how to transition from tummy sleeping into side and back sleeping, because if you are a tummy sleeper, it's very easy for me to sit here and say do not sleep on your tummy, but then how do you actually do it? All right, so moving on, point number 2 is, if you are one of those who sleep on your back, Nothing wrong with it, but there is one little modification you can do in order to make your back more comfortable and to avoid that back pain and thus the leg nervy or the nerve pain. So what you can do is when you're sleeping, try and keep your knees a little bit bent. And I'll tell you the reason for that. But when you keep your knees a little bit bent, there's less stresses building up on your lower back and thus the less chances of leg pain. So what you can do is you can either pop some pillows or a bolster under your knees and then rest your knees over them so that your knees stay bent. However, if you are doing this on a regular basis, like you're one of those who sleep on your back and never on the side, please make sure you're doing some hamstring stretches because you tend to shorten your hamstrings. The length of your hamstrings tend to get shortened in this position, and you do not want to avoid one problem and then create another one. Okay, so how this works is you have this curve in your lower back. So suppose this is the back of my body and this is the front, right? I'm facing this way. And when I'm lying down, so imagine if, say, this is your bed and you're lying down. Do you see how this part of my back, that is the maximum curvature, it is not supported by the bed? So you see this, it's not being supported, so you're not flat on the bed, you have that curve there. So these muscles in the deepest part of your lumbar curve or your lower back curve will not be supported by the bed. But the moment you bend your knees, it flattens out your lumbar spine. So from here, your lumbar spine goes flattish. Okay, so the more you bend your knees, the more flat your lumbar spine gets. Try it out today or tonight and then see if you can actually notice that happening. Now this is a tip that you can follow if you are sleeping on your back. However, if you're one of those who are sleeping on the side, there are two things that I want to point out here. This is our third tip. So if you're sleeping on the side, while you're sleeping with your legs, if you're one of those who sleep with your legs stacked on top of each other, try and put a pillow in between your legs. Now, how do you know what should be the height of that pillow? So lie down straight, that is on your back, and your knees are facing the sky up. Yeah, so they're facing up. Now what happens is the knees tend to fall together because your pelvis is wider than where your knees are meeting. So put a pillow in between the knees so that the legs are parallel to each other. The thigh bones are parallel to each other. That should be the height of the pillow that you should keep in between your legs when you're sleeping on the side with your legs stacked on top of each other. However, if you're one of those who sleep with the top leg going over the bottom leg, so sort of twisting your top leg over so it falls ahead of the bottom leg, you need to have, again, the same height of the pillow as I told you just now. You need to have that high a pillow so that your top leg is not inclined downwards but is straight like this. The reason for using the pillow in these two scenarios is that your pelvis is, suppose this is your pelvis, the pelvis is this wide, your thigh bones are coming down like this. When you don't put a pillow, the thigh bones are not parallel to each other, and what happens is your pelvis cannot stay in a neutral position, and thus there is a lot of pressure on your lower back, your sacroiliac joint, that's the joint between your lower back and your pelvis. So in order to avoid that stresses on your back, you want to have a pillow in between your knees when you're sleeping, whether your legs are stacked on top of each other or crossing over each other. Alrighty, so those were the 3 tips that I wanted to share with you. Now, if you're looking for more tips and advice and simple strategies to achieve and maintain a good posture, whether sleeping or sitting or standing, I have done a free training in my community. It's a free community. I will leave a link in the description of this video. If you're watching me on Instagram, the link is in my bio. Once you click on that link in my bio, it'll open another page, and as you scroll down, you'll see my community. It's a bright blue circle, you can't miss it, and you can join there, and you can learn more about such simple things that help with your posture. All right, so effective stuff doesn't have to be complicated, it can be simple. Okay, alrighty, I'll see you guys next time. If you have any comments or questions on this video, please feel free to drop them below and I'll pick it up from there.